Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Shekhar Iyer, and today I have with me Shekhar Iyer, and we're going to take a look at some very interesting developments across the political spectrum, starting with the Indian National Congress presidential elections. Who's in, who's out, who's playing for who is the representative of the G23 in the race, and so on and so forth. That's just one part. There may be a cabinet reshuffle. Who's in, who's out, that will be another one. The third thing is, why are BJP workers getting imprisoned in Tamil Nadu? What exactly is going on? Shekhar Iyer will be looking at that also. So a lot of things to talk about. Let's welcome the guest of the evening, Shekhar Iyer. Shekhar ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskar. Thank you, Shreya ji, for having me again. It's wonderful interacting with you and responding to questions from your viewers.
So a couple of things, viewers, please like this video, and also if you want to ask Shekhar ji a question, have the hashtag AskShekhar, AskShekhar. So let's go to the first question. So definitely there are two candidates in the fray, Shekhar ji. Ashok Gehlot, who's supposed to be a favorite of the Gandhi family, and Shashi Tharoor. Now I have a simple question, sir. What is the support that Shashi Tharoor is counting on? Because it looks like the family is supporting Gehlot.
You are right, Shreya ji. It is, the family would be largely backing Ashok Gehlot. But at the same time, I think they have adopted a strategy because of the criticism that had followed earlier, that the party is in the stranglehold of the Gandhi Parivar, and that they don't want to give up the leadership of the Congress party. So what they're attempting now is a kind of an exercise that shows that as if they are totally disinterested in who becomes the party president, and they are letting a situation where anybody can file a nomination with, if he has the support of 10 party delegates, and that they are not backing anybody, because that is the basic message they are doing. But the big question is, how long is this going to be arrangement? Assuming that X, Y, Z, one of them gets elected as a Congress president, will that be a temporary arrangement, or will they allow him so much of freedom and room so that he can actually steer the party forward? If that happens also, then a message may go that party can do without Congress family. Congress can do without one member of the Gandhi family at the helm. So there are several questions. But what I can see in the last few days, Ashok Gehlot, who is the Rajasthan chief minister, he did not want to give up the chief ministership. So he was, talking about, I can even hold 3 posts. But then he was reminded by none other than 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪, who is also a contender, saying that, look, it's only the Udaipur conclave we passed a resolution which said that one man, one post. Because the whole problem is too many people are holding on to, too few posts. That is why there is a lot of resentment in the party, in the rank and file. After that, I believe Ashok Gehlot came down to Kerala, met Rahul Gandhi, and Rahul Gandhi again, publicly said, yes, we must follow what we had decided at, Jodhpur. Now, but what is happening is, the Shashi Tharoor is a player, because Shashi Tharoor is not a person who has a great organizational experience when it comes to managing a political party, and he doesn't have a big support also. What he has is a kind of an elite audience who are impressed with his English, rather than any political, in facing the political challenges or anything. So, but then he had also met Sonia Gandhi, and the impression that was given was that Sonia would not be backing any particular person. So the whole thing seemed to be, slightly farcical, because the idea seems to be, rather they want to send a message that Congress, the first family, is totally disinterested. They want inner democracy. They don't have any favorites. Anybody can contest election. And Rahul Gandhi wants to give an impression that since he took the decision to stay out, that he doesn't want to be a Congress president following that humiliating defeat of 2019, he wants to stick to the decision. But then at the same time, Bharat Jodo Yatra is going on, which has his image all over. His pictures and posters are everywhere. So much so, Kerala High Court even raised a question as to why action is not being taken against a political party which is defacing, blocking traffic, creating public nuisance at different places in a narrow strip of land called Kerala. So you can see that the if the family is not interested, then what is Rahul Gandhi doing about? And we have had Congress spokespersons, persons like Ashok Gehlot, Digvijay Singh, repeatedly saying the Gandhi family members will have a very larger than life role. They will guide the party. And Rahul Gandhi in turn saying, stability condition. Who qualifies for a Congress president is a person who is ideologically committed. There are so many ifs and buts. So I'm not sure, finally what is going to be. Well, Ashok Gehlot today or as on date seems to have a higher chance, but then Digvijay keeps on giggling and giving interviews. He says, "Why do you rule me out? I am also there." And I think Ashok Gehlot's worry is not the Congress at the moment. He is worried who will be his successor in Rajasthan. He is dead against Rajesh Pilot being given any post.
You mean
I mean,
Sachin
that
Pilot?
is, Sachin Pilot. But Priyanka Gandhi had given him an assurance to Sachin Pilot that just before the next assembly elections he'll be made. So there are too many commitments, too many betrayals, and Ashok Gehlot probably hopes that they will honor a word given to him that if he leaves Jaipur and comes to Delhi to manage the party, his man will be the person holding the fort as chief minister. Because Ashok Gehlot's problem is he has made too many commitment to his friends in the business and industry, and there are a lot of things he has to fulfill in the 1 year run up, because that's how Congress has been mobilizing resources for the elections or even for this Bharat Jodo Yatra. Sri Ayerji.
So, in your opinion, Sachin Pilot, at least if Gehlot gets a choice, may not have a good chance. So, riddle me this puzzle, Shekharji. Pilot was going to do a Jyotiraditya Scindia, right? 6 months ago, something like that. What made him to walk back from that?
No, that was in 2020. That was the time when his MLAs had come out. They even went to a resort in BJP ruled Haryana, and that was the moment for Sachin Pilot. He had to cross the Rubicon. But then Priyanka stepped in, called him up, and assured him, "Now don't do anything like that. Wait for wait for a word from us. Definitely, we will do something for you." And it is a Priyanka who played a big role in ensuring Sachin Pilot was asked to pull back. So, of course, that disappointed a number of his supporters. But that is how the things were de-escalated, largely due to the role of Priyanka Gandhi. But then Ashok Gehlot is important for the Gandhi Parivar because he's a great financial resource person, like Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel. So he who can, who can fund or bankroll all the expenses of the Congress party, being in power in the states, they command a larger thing. That is why it is not easy to go against the will of Ashok Gehlot, because Sachin Pilot could be a better choice. When it comes to Rajasthan. But then when it comes to caste combinations in Rajasthan, it's a very sensitive, because Sachin Pilot belongs to Gujar community. The Gujar community by themselves are not big vote banks in Rajasthan. Whereas, and also Gujar becoming, but then Gujar community has issues with other political influential communities like Jat, Minas. There are caste, I would say, tensions. So, but Ashok Gehlot's USP was he belonged to a community called Mali, and Malis are backward class community who cannot affect anybody. Now, Ashok Gehlot is supposed to be favoring the present assembly speaker, that is CP Joshi, who is a Brahmin leader. And again, Brahmins do not matter much. So the other communities would rather settle for a Brahmin than for aggressive community like Gujars, because Gujars have been, there was that famous leader Bhansla who was asking for, had agitation seeking quota for Gujars. So all these caste balances have to be done. Otherwise, Rajasthan is all set to go the Punjab way. The last minute they removed Amrinder and brought the Charanjit Singh Cheney, and the whole thing collapsed, and Aam Aadmi Party had a complete sweep. So there are still a lot of things to be sorted out. But already Congress has started. Today instructions were given to all spokesperson to talk about how great the Congress party is, how their inner democracy is working, how the how the Gandhi family is not backing anyone. They don't have favorites. All goody things which many people, the rank and file of the Congress, do not think it is true, because ultimately, sometime Rahul Gandhi would like to return. That is probably when a host of elections are over and Congress doesn't face any imminent defeat. Because his problem is Rajiv Gandhi doesn't like defeat. I mean, Rahul Gandhi. And his fear is that, right from 2019, you see, he took over when the Congress had won elections in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan. That is the time, just after that election, that was, that was in the year 2018. So that's why that's the time he took over, because they were fresh from that euphoria that Congress is reviving. But after the Lok Sabha elections, Rahul Gandhi felt that his campaign against Prime Minister Modi, calling him chore for the Rafale deal, that thing completely collapsed and boomerang, and no other Congress leader was willing to even back him on that. So in that anger and huff, you saw in that Congress Working Committee meeting soon after the parliamentary elections of 2019, he resigned. And there is other thing, Shri Ayerji, which I think our viewers must be kept, fully informed, which is, I believe that within the family there are issues. Now, Priyanka Gandhi feels that, if Rahul is not interested, why not give me a chance? I will lead it. But then Rahul Gandhi is not interested that, Priyanka should step in, because he is not interested. And Sonia feels that if at all it should be kept vacant, it should be, there should be a non-Gandhi member, it should be somebody who would be willing to leave when Rahul Gandhi wants to take over. If you put a person like 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪 Singh, he is he's a hard ball, because he's a politician, he's a Thakur, and Thakur leaders, whether it is VP Singh or 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪 Singh, or they have their own network and they have their own support system. So if you make 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪 Singh the Congress president, it will be difficult to ease him out for a member of the Gandhi member to take over. See, after all, Priyanka and Rahul, what they fear is that the tag of defeat being given to them. So, and now we have Gujarat and Himachal elections. Nobody is saying that Congress is going to do miracle in either of the states. And next year, you have Telangana, you have Karnataka. Karnataka is a very important state. Well, BJP is also not in great shape in Karnataka. And the predictions are there could be another Hanga house with BJP as the largest party. We will discuss Karnataka some other time. But what I'm trying to say is there are challenges Congress is facing. And Rahul Gandhi is not addressing those challenges. Rather, he is so scared of defeat that he doesn't want to assume charge. But at the same time, he will remain in command. He will be the one who will decide, may take major decisions. So all that will continue. What you're going to see is, I would say, a stopgap arrangement in which one of their, the person, I don't want to use the word yes man, somebody will be there who will take instructions from the Gandhi Parivar and do what has to be done. And if at all Rahul feels the time is ripe for him to again come in, he'll be willing to vacate. Because let us remember, when Narsimha Rao government lost the elections in 96, Narsimha Rao ji was leader of the opposition as well as Congress president. Because of so much of criticism within the party that they had lost the 96 elections, and they went in for arrangement to prevent BJP from coming. They supported H.D. Devagowda as the the United Front government, supported by the Congress. So the criticism was so much on Narsimha Rao, and he had to give up one of the posts, either a Congress president or leader of the opposition. And he made the mistake of quitting as Congress president. And his own man, Sitaram Kesari, took over. But then there were other politics, because Sitaram Kesari also turned against Narsimha Rao after some time. And see, by 96, 97, by 98, Kesari was eased out. And Sonia was back. Sonia was back in the sense that she really took over the reins of the Congress. Therefore, the Congress party, without a member of the Congress Parivar being at the helm, cannot manage for too long. I cannot see a situation where that Rahul Gandhi can do a Bal Thackeray on the Congress, with the remote control. He will take over directly. There is no doubt about it.
Shekhar, this is how she became president.
Well, I had covered the Congress party during that period. You know what they did? Practically I tell you, Sitaram Kesari kept on giving interviews where he said, if Sonia wants to become Congress president, I will leave. But he wanted Sonia to tell him. That was too tall an order. And Sonia would not, call up Kesari and say, look, I want to come in, so you get out. So what they did was, he had given some interview to some obscure Hindi paper. They took out that interview because on the day all the drama happened, I vividly recall, Sitaram Kesari, in that working committee meeting, he used to resign. And he closed the meeting and went home. Then the other leaders decided to consult Sonia Gandhi, and they met in the afternoon. They reconvened Congress working committee without Congress President Sitaram Kesari. And they used the old clipping, which I am told was fished out by Dr. Manmohan Singh of all persons, who is supposed to be the Saint Bernard in the Congress party. And that interview was used to place on record thanking Kesari for all the services and accepting his offer to quit. This is how they made him quit. And as soon as I got this news, I went to PV Narsimha Rao. I was the first to go and say, to say that all these developments have happened. And, Narsimha Rao's was, Congress party gets the leader I thought he's going to say it deserves, but he said it desires. That so much of control Narsimha Rao had over. So this kind of thing we have seen is unusual.
Dr. Shekhar Iyer, I have a question for you. Was at that time Sri Narsimha Rao a part of the working committee, CWC?
Well, because he was, during that UPA period, he was the leader of the opposition. So, as a leader of the opposition, he was there. But then, the Lakhubai Pathak case came, where a pickle manufacturer accused Narsimha Rao of taking bribe or something. So,
correct.
That was used to ease him out as Congress president. But then Sonia had a complete dislike for Narsimha Rao.
Right.
She probably felt that Bofore's case could come back and things like that. But then she was unhappy with Sitaram Kesari also, because Sitaram Kesari had problems with 𝙜𝙧𝙤𝙬. But the fact is, point I'm trying to is, history repeats itself. So any member of the Gandhi Parivar, whenever they desire to become Congress president, whoever is the incumbent will have to leave. There is no doubt about it. And Ashok Gehlot can be easily dispensed with, no problem. But Digvijay Singh cannot be, because Digvijay Singh is a serious political leader. And, it's not so easy. And that is why they will not have even a Dalit as a Dalit leader like Mallikarjun Kharge as Congress president too, because it's very difficult to ease them out.
I want to take you back to the Narsimha Rao era. Is it true that once he became Prime Minister and then he became the President of Congress Party, he never went to visit Sonia Gandhi in that 5 years of his prime ministership?
No, initially he did go. Initially the meetings were there. But then, he did not. He then used to deploy people like HR Bharadwaj, law minister. And he slowed down that case. That Bofore's case was slowed down. And that the money of that, Kotrochi was defrozen. And overnight, all the money vanished from that accounts. All that he did, whatever she wanted. So, and then Kotrochi was allowed to leave Delhi and go. And that was done with the help of Narsimha Rao government. He was escorted out of the country. And HR Bharadwaj's big services was that, the defreezing. Because generally, what Narsimha Rao did was, whatever the family is concerned, but somewhere back in the mind, Sonia felt that, Narsimha Rao could not be trusted. And Narsimha Rao did not like, and he put in place all those who were trying to claim, strength from Sonia. Because Narsimha Rao did not encourage that dual power center. As a prime minister, he made prime minister, you had people like Arjun Singh and others who kept on rushing to Sonia on one pretext or the other, complaining against Narsimha Rao. But Narsimha Rao, that is why even after Babri Masjid demolition, Arjun Singh did not resign. That was one time he could have shown his real 𝙒𝙀𝘀𝘀, but he didn't resign. He resigned only much later, just before the 96 elections, and joined that Congress, what N.D. Tiwari and others had floated one Congress Tiwari group.
Okay, so now let's take a look at the candidature of Shashi Tharoor. Now, the G23, I think he's part of the G23. Do you think he can count on the complete G23 support at least?
But no, he can count on their support. They are supposed to be meeting even this evening to check out the strategy. Now, see, this drama, it suits the Gandhi family if more people contest. If it is, because I hear Manish Tiwari is interested.
That's right. That was going to be my next question.
See, there are, but they will not make any difference. See, they are not going to make any difference to the stewardship of the Congress in the next few months or to the electoral prospects of the Congress party. Ashok Gehlot as Congress president will not make any difference because the fundamental problems of the Congress party are not being, solved by this Bharat Jodo Yatra either. Because, see, the Congress has to reframe its policies and issues and has to come with an alternative model. Look, this is how we can do it better. But apart from, the same criticism, the barrage of criticism that we are seeing, I mean, we saw them during the last elections and all through this, the same thing is being repeated. Nothing new is coming. Because what Congress needs today is it has to, get more into the centrist position. What had happened during the 10 years of UPA rule was Congress, which was slightly left of center, moved on to, slightly started sharing bed with the radical left. So some of the views expressed by Rahul Gandhi and you saw where, echoed what the radical left were saying. So that course correction has not happened here, because how is the industry going to trust you? Because if you keep on attacking Adani, Ambani, but then what are your answers for, increasing employment generation in this country, investment in this country, development of this country? Because your radical left solutions can please, those so-called intellectuals, but they do not offer, solution per se. Nowhere in the world those ideas have worked. So why would they work here? Because after all, what we are seeing, even what we saw in the Marxist rule Bengal, for the last 25 years, they wasted their time in promoting union activities, and finally it came to a situation where Bengal could not attract even single naya paisa investment, and it was left to Buddhadev Bhattacharya in the last years to salvage it. That is why Singur and all those came. But then Mamata adopted an extreme radical left position and then displaced left. And she has also paid that price because Bengal's investment climate hasn't improved either. Only Pinarayi Vijayan has been rather more clever. The left leaders of Kerala are even smarter than the left leaders of Bengal, because Pinarayi Vijayan has realized that you need to do something, because simply if you have to generate employment, if you have to generate growth, then you need to attract investment, and that will not come by abusing industrialists. Because the same Adanis have got business under Kamal Nath, they have got business under Pinarayi Vijayan and other Congress-ruled chief ministers. And today, that particular incident I told you, where when a reporter belonging to a lady reporter belonging to a channel which is supposed to be taken over by Adani, she posed a question. Rahul, rather, instead of answering her question, started talking about that your channel is being taken over by Adani. I mean, what would the poor reporter got to do with the ownership changes? But that only shows the attitude, and that is not helping the Congress, because today the problem is Congress is not only perceived as anti-Hindu, it is also perceived as anti-business, anti-trade. See, that's a tag which is not good for the Congress, a Congress which had brought the first of the reforms in 1991 under Narsimha Rao. So somewhere, you have to come to the middle path. That is not happening. That's not happening. And I haven't seen a single utterances of Rahul Gandhi where he is really talking of ways to reassure voters. Okay, a lot of policies of Modi government has to be, scrutinized, critically examined. But then what are you offering in its place? See, that is something, because the Bharat Jodo Yatra is nothing but, he is spending 18 days in Kerala with the same friendly crowd. And that is not making any difference. Getting photographed with young people, old people, fishermen, other people, walks of life. And then you had the other controversy, how they were collecting money. They were demanding 2,000 rupees from vegetable seller, and then he was not willing to part more than 500 rupees. Then they damaged his shop. All that kind of thing is happening, which is the bad press for the Congress. So I think in terms of messaging is also not there. But Rahul seems immensely pleased with this 18 days. He's in the God's own country.
Now, Shekharji, you have gone to sleep and you're getting up and you have no memory of any of the rumblings within the Congress party. And I only ask you one question. Who would you like to be the president of the INC? Who would that be?
So for the sake of Congress party, let it be a member of the Gandhi Parivar. Because it is without that there will not be stability in the Congress party. If Rahul Gandhi does not want, let him give his sister a chance. Otherwise, it will not be stable. Ashok Gehlot or 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪𝙥𝙥 or anyone, within 6 months or so, you will find all other leaders will gang up, go to Sonia Gandhi, if she's still around, and tell her, look, ma'am, you take over, these guys can't handle it. Because that same thing happened during 𝙤𝙀𝙀 Kesary's period. Congress party without the family cannot remain a Congress party. Or you will start seeing a situation like it happened during 𝙤𝙀𝙀 Kesary's time. People started leaving the Congress party and joining BJP. And you can still expect that to happen. So, there are two challenges, the elections in Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. We are not seeing exactly Congress preparing in a big way to pose a challenge. Yes, they have done very well in the last elections. The last elections, they had brought the BJP's figure below 100. It was quite alarming for BJP in Gujarat, the last elections. The elections of, that took place in Gujarat, 2017.
And that's
and
supposed to be the work of Gehlot.
I mean, that is being, that as an afterthought. Other day, an anchor who is very close to Ashok Gehlot was mentioning it, saying that, that proved his organizational ability. But then Ashok Gehlot is not a picture. I mean, he is not a leader who will make a great appeal outside Rajasthan. Rajasthan, he has a network of supporters. He knows that place very well. That, as I said, he belongs to a caste that is considered neutral or not very assertive in Rajasthan. Caste complex. These are good for Rajasthan, but not for. I mean, at least if you make Sachin Pilot the Congress president, there may be some traction. But then Gandhi Parivar will not like Sachin, a personality like Sachin Pilot to take over Congress party. See, until they are in command, I don't think anyone will be let to perform in peace. I mean, that is pakka. I mean, that's the DNA of Congress.
Now let's take a look at the purported cabinet reshuffle. This is in preparation for the 2024 election. There are some reports that said that 8 ministers, union ministers, were reprimanded by Amit Shah. Your thoughts on who you think could be shunted out and for what reasons, sir?
Well, I think cabinet reshuffle is one area of the Prime Minister where he keeps everyone guessing. And all of us in the media have got it wrong several times about the timing, about the people whom he is going to induct or whom he is going to send out. But what we have to understand is already at least more than I would say more than a dozen ministers are burdened with additional portfolios. Because many people have left, some of their Rajya Sabha term ended. So all those have become additional portfolios for many ministers. So they are burdened with work. So what the Prime Minister would be looking at, this is going to be would be a sort of a last reshuffle before the parliamentary election. Definitely changes are on the cards. But then what is the message? Because the last elections we had was July 8th of 2021, which was to send a message about the expansion of the OBC base. More leaders belonging to OBC were brought in, and that was before they had to send a message that they are getting in more people. So similarly, what I am saying is there will be a political messaging, a social messaging, but at the same time, Prime Minister is very concerned that the delivery mechanism of the government at the moment is further improved, more efficiency brought in, and some of the major flagship programs are more vigorously implemented. And as far as those 8 ministers being pulled up, that was in a different context here, from what I gather. This was to do with BJP is working on those 144 constituencies where they came second in the 2019 elections, even after winning 300 seats, on their own. So those 144 constituencies were allotted to different ministers for them to visit, get in touch with the constituency, come up with
Nourish
solutions and
it. Yeah.
suggestions. Yeah, and on that, most ministers, went to that area and they were doing the work, but 8 of them could not go, and they came with, probably an excuse or saying that, because of they were overburdened with ministry work, they couldn't visit those constituencies that were allotted to them. I believe they were told, look, this work has to be done in addition to their ministerial work. So that was in that context. But all the time, the Prime Minister office is monitoring the performance of these ministers, and ministers know that, and there is a heavy pressure on them. So I think 2 things we have to look out for. One is, this is going to be the last reshuffle or changes before the Lok Sabha election. There is not much time left. And second thing is, what will be a new further social message that has to be given? We know already the Prime Minister has given with the last reshuffle that happened in the last year, that more of OBC, more of scheduled castes, more of scheduled tribes, more importance for them through their induction and their empowerment. And so I think I'm looking at, and the elections that are due next year, you have Karnataka, Tripura, then end of the year again, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh. So that's the way one has to look at this, and it will be a very serious exercise. Of course, one cannot predict about the timing because Modi keeps it close to his chest, and he does a lot of deliberation, consults the ideological the mentor, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. Lot of inputs are taken. It's exercise which nobody is privy to, excepting the Prime Minister himself and whomever he wants to consult, and they do not get the full picture until actually the reshuffle is done.
Well, intriguing to say the least. Now let's take a quick look at some of the states. What is happening in Tamil Nadu? Shekharji, my information was that Mr. M.K. Stalin is slated to leave for a hiatus of 3 to 4 months to recover from surgery that he's going to have. And during that time, there is going to be a stand-in chief minister, if you will. And now the candidates appear to be 3: son, son-in-law, and wife. But what you're seeing is some very unusual and erratic functioning of the party, where they are arresting the BJP, party members left and right. I mean, that is almost like, "Aa bail mujhe maar." So, what is happening, sir?
Well, I think you are right. There is a lot of, I would say, turmoil, and the leaders, ambitious leaders particularly, are worried about the future. Yes, Stalin is due to travel abroad for his medical checkup. He has already spoken to the Prime Minister, and Prime Minister has assured him of all help. But then, whether he will continue in office and do the business with Durai Murugan and others, or will he induct his son? That is the biggest. That is, his son is the biggest question for him, and his wife also plays an important role. That is why you are seeing leaders like A. Raja who are getting frustrated, because there was a time when he was very close to Karnadadi, and he thought probably Karnadadi would make A. Raja the first Dalit chief minister of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu hasn't had a Dalit chief minister till date. So, A. Raja has been nurturing that. But today, I feel that Raja feels that he is losing out. And there is another interesting thing, Shreyarji. While all this is happening, intimidation of BJP workers and all that, we are seeing another interesting thing. Kanimozhi recently took her mother to Germany for treatment. And guess who all, of all people who called up to find out about her mother's welfare? It was none other than Home Minister Amit Shah. Amit Shah spoke to Kanimozhi, wanted to find out whether she needs any help. The Indian embassy in Germany was instructed to give them help. And when it was all over, Kanimozhi thanked Amit Shah. And do not forget that Kanimozhi has had her birthday wishes directly from Amit Shah every year, year after year. And you have other leaders like T.R. Balu who are constantly seeking appointment with central leaders. Because there is a section in DMK that feels that things are changing, and we have to keep at least one door open for the future situation. Of course, they cannot openly align with BJP because of the vote bank issues in Tamil Nadu. They cannot afford to, antagonize the minority votes. But then within the DMK, there is a feeling that, they have put all their bets on the Congress horse, which is getting nowhere. So therefore, you can see all this is happening. But Stalin would like to induct his son, at least as a deputy chief minister. But then, the senior leaders are worried. What could be the fallout? So you can see that there is a lot of churning within the DMK. But then, as I told you, there are individual leaders who are in touch with the top BJP leaders.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. And if there are any questions, now is a good time to ask those questions. Siani Billy number 1. Just like Gehlot became CM, if Rajasthan, without winking, Rahul wants to become PL by using Gehlot centrally. I think it is PM.
Yeah, I mean, as we discussed, the Gehlot or Digvijay Singh, Ashok Gehlot or Digvijay Singh, this is everybody thinks it's an interim arrangement. It is not a very final thing. And because, of course, Rahul wants to show that he keeps his word, that if he has said no to the post, he will not accept it. But then Congress party cannot be run like that. I mean, the Congress party without the family, it won't go anywhere. We have seen it in, 96, 98. So therefore, everybody thinks that there is some. And I know one more thing, Shri Ayerji, I would like to, if the family was not interested, why did their people, their close associates, got 18 Pradesh Congress committee to adopt resolution saying that Rahul Gandhi should become Congress president? 18. 18 state Congress units passed resolution saying that Rahul Gandhi should take over. And that was definitely with a hint coming from people I don't want to name here, who are very close to the family, who directed such action. Adopt the resolution in support of Rahul Gandhi.
So let's go to the next question. Sachin Sharma wants to know, if Gehlot goes to center from the state, how will it impact Rajasthan's election next year?
No, I think there are a lot of anti-incumbent issues in Rajasthan. Whether Ashok Gehlot even stays as CM or not, Congress is facing a huge anti-incumbency issues in Rajasthan. So it's quite a task. But the question is, if Ashok Gehlot becomes Congress president, who will be the chief minister there? If it is Sachin Pilot, maybe some spark may return to the Congress there. But if it is one of the yes men of Ashok Gehlot, then I doubt it will create ripples in a desert state like Rajasthan.
Thank you, sir. Next question, please. Narayanan Mahalingam wants to know, how is the opposition unity effort progressing under Nitish Kumar, sir?
Well, we did see Nitish, soon after he became chief minister, came to Delhi, met all the leaders, and since then we haven't heard much. But the idea is Nitish is pursuing the Sonia Gandhi formula, which is, somehow make the opposition parties agree to, eventually having one opposition candidate against the BJP candidate or the NDA candidate in 543 Lok Sabha constituencies. That's a very utopian formula. I don't know how it will work. But right now, nothing much is happening in opposition unity. But then what we saw today was Amit Shah was back in Bihar, and they have gone full blast against Nitish Kumar. They are already gearing up for the parliamentary elections in Bihar.
All right. And next question, please. Ramani Kritivasan wants to know, will Kanimozhi be the Shinde of DMK?
Well, I don't see a Shiv Sena kind of situation, but definitely leaders like Kanimozhi are also worried about their future, because if it is Stalin's son who is going to become the CM, or if the baton is going to get handed to him, they are worried what will be their future, because her future could be similarly like what happened to Stalin's elder brother.
And
So
Aragiri, yeah.
I agree. So they are worried about the future. But then DMK as a party, I think they are also worried about the anti-incumbency issues that are started developing in Tamil Nadu. In terms of delivery on their promises, that's taking a long time, and Tamil Nadu's treasury is empty.
Thank you so much, sir. I think that's the end of all our questions today. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Shekharji, thank you so much for taking time out. We'll be back again next week with Shekharji, maybe with more interesting news. We haven't touched upon the PFI arrest yesterday and what the fallout's going to be. There were riots in Kerala. I don't know if that's going to be contained there or it's going to move beyond that. So we'll be talking about all these things in our next hangout with Shekharji. Thank you very much, sir. Namaskar.
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you very much.